Jerry Brown, March 16th, 2025. Lake Preston.
James Lawling, March what, 16th?
Yep.
2025.
All day.
Well, welcome. Thank you guys for doing this.
It's a pleasure.
So being in the museum, does anything spark your interest that you can remember? Obviously Susie's Cafe, that was just such a hit.
Oh yes, yeah. And everybody hung across, lost the station there too. The guys would hang out there, but always had to go to the restroom across the street. The old vacant house there.
Down the basement house, yeah.
Who lived there? He was a mechanic at the station for a while. Guy from Oklahoma.
Yeah, yeah.
Can't remember his name.
And then, Gloria and,
Paul McIntyre.
yeah, lived there for a little bit.
And that was the house that they had the bathroom in the basement?
In the
And then
basement. Is that the door there?
Yeah.
Well, there was a door though someplace in Susie's that they helped with too all the time in the basement there. Was that the one? I thought they had a bunch of names on it. Somebody said, well, that got names on it.
Oh, she let him go over the house then?
It got help, I think.
Oh, okay, okay.
But everybody else, I think.
Yeah, it says signed by all her waitresses on the top
Yeah.
there.
Okay, so the house next to Susie's, that's
Yeah.
where this was Susie's house.
Yeah.
He's telling now.
Okay. But then you could go across the street to the bathroom to the gas station.
Yeah.
That's where
But
they-
it wasn't until later years that they built
In the
that
back.
block deal there.
Yeah. If you got up from the restaurant and asked, or he was in the restaurant, Susie's, and then he asked to go to the bathroom, they send you across the street down the basement.
Huh.
Then there's a bunch of them old bachelors that came in there every night to eat. Wasn't there like Copper Boys going there? That
Yeah.
mostly,
We ate dinner and supper there at Susie's. We started out uptown here and he couldn't keep it open.
the old Preston Cafe or whatever it was.
I forget who that was. Was there a back or not?
You know,
Well, he ended up being a little
that
bit of
Paulson run it for a while.
well, this guy was,
Bachelor guy.
oh no, this is a family guy and he,
Peters had it for a while. I
Who?
think. Gordon Peters, didn't he?
oh, my God.
Worked for Copper there for a while with his wife. I was thinking, but I might be wrong.
And the guy, they closed when we want to eat, and then eventually they went down to Susie's. Stayed there.
Then you probably get a hamburger for 25 cents or something.
You got a meal for, it was either 55 or 65 cents, complete meal. And coffee.
Wow.
You know, you'd like to order a glass of milk, but it was just too high price.
Yeah.
Would that be another nickel probably, or?
I don't know how much it was. I think I only did it once and I got frowned upon.
Sure. Wow.
This is a menu from the cafe, I believe.
That's Susie's.
It just says Lake Preston Cafe. Ina and George Kaiser.
Okay, yeah, George Kaiser. Yeah.
Yep. And then this is just a little insert on the inside, but it looked like milk is about 15 cents.
Well, coffee was free, so that made a difference.
Honey, boy, that's what it gets you on the drinks anymore.
Yeah.
Was Susie's Cafe building built for just Susie's Cafe, or was it something prior to that?
But he run the cafe uptown. Wilford cooked for him, good friends. And then he got the little hunting store going down here where Susie's was.
Well, they must have built that building, but I don't remember that where they're at. Where it was, Susie's.
No, but then after he died, and then she started her restaurant, so I understood. Would you come to town for that?
Who ran into it? Well, remember Patrolman's got it.
Highway Patrolman, Ben Johnson.
But he didn't run into the cafe, though, did he? I thought Patrolman.
No, he got stopped before it hit her, but
Somebody backed her out there. I can't remember, yeah.
yeah, Roger Billingson was coming out, and Jensen, they were going someplace. Cole to beat hell, and he pulled out in front of the patrolman coming to beat hell.
Yeah, he's probably going to an accident.
And then Morris Nelson was down there having a little something to eat. He was pretty full, you know. And I stepped over there. He was saying, "Look at that, Jimmy. Jesus Christ, look at that." He had the car been wrecked before, you know, and he had it fixed up with different paint on it. Screwed the paint on his car, and I thought, "Jeez, that fella cute." You better be quiet. You're going to be all going off to jail here, you know.
Oh, wow. Seems like there was a lot of businesses kind of in that area. A little gas station across the corner, across the street. Was there anything else, like farther closer to the school?
Well, both places there. Well, the school, city service, but good one. Then the one guy in the corner here, Joseph said, that's the guy that rented out the Hondas and everybody rode. You rent out the Honda, they would run around.
Sure.
Gas station on both sides of it.
Yeah, where
Where?
Josie's Repair is and Good Guy's Garage.
Yeah.
But then was there anything over there where the co-op is or farm supply now?
Well, that's always been a farm supply station.
Oh, it has. So there's always been three there.
Then across the street where the office is, but they have like poultry house or something, they buy chickens.
Was a
Warehouse.
lumber yard there years ago, and I got,
I don't remember that either.
well, went belly up, and I got some gift certificate, or Grandpa bought a share in the lumber yard, put it in Grandma's name.
Oh,
It went belly up. And then there was storage next to Milwaukee. Chips. Remember that?
Oh, across the deep one there.
Yeah, south
Just
of the
west.
depot, south of 14th. Because I got fertilizer out of there. First year I farmed, I got big fertilizer out put in small grain.
so the depot was where the diesel pumps are today? No.
No.
Where the parking lot is, they tore that down, and Winks tear that down. They moved part of it out or something.
Might have.
Because Munson's used to live above there.
Yeah.
Roxanne
Yeah.
first gave it. Yeah, I remember when I walked to school, we'd worry about it. Mother'd always say, you know, watch out for the
Yeah.
balloons or whatever crossing the track.
One
Because there
was
used to be a,
one was a good one and one was a bad one.
Oh. There's always two that hung around, you mean?
No, the guy that would be decent, he'd tell you what he was, where he was a hobo or bum, maybe was the other name.
Sure. Yep. When you would come from Rockford, is that where you'd get off?
No, up here.
Oh, north of town. That was the passenger
Chicago
train.
Northwestern.
Yeah.
And then you would ride about what? How many hours?
Well, it'd be through the night. Sometimes we'd have to change trains along the way in the dark. And I think we rode it twice up here, got off here at the depot.
You remember the price?
No.
It'd be all,
See, that's where they
6
drop the
a.m.
mail off all the time.
yeah. When you got to town, was that the little depot that you got off at? That little tiny building that's still
Yep.
there today?
There, huh? It'd be 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, darker, you know, trying to push out. We go up to the copies. I remember a lot of trees in the dark over the years.
I suppose that park was quite full, the park right by the depot. Just south of the depot where,
See, a lot of times when they said the military guys or something, they drop off there too. You ever hear that for a break or something? But yeah.
Well, everybody copies that went to service went to East Smith and got on the trains, wherever they took them.
did the trains only ever go east and west? Or was there other rail lines that went north and south?
Well, Milwaukee,
Milwaukee.
backside of the elevator there.
Yeah.
There goes to like Whitewood.
Oh, okay, yeah, I guess that one does arc down. Right
And
now,
the other one's, well, not too far from your place
South
there.
of us, we'd see a train every once in a while,
Yeah.
a couple cars.
guess nowadays you just see them near most highways. So I suppose it can unload them near a grain elevator.
This Milwaukee one all the way to Britain, I don't know. That switched around up there.
Were they all coal and steam? Or were they diesel by then?
Well,
Well, these were diesel, but yeah.
there was steam because the one blew up over here.
Yeah.
They went to the bar and put water in it. It got too hot and blew up. Killed the guy, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
That Kavanaugh.
Killed a Kavanaugh and it killed a hobo sleeping in the
Upstairs.
upstairs. Killed him too.
It must have been late 40s, early 50s. I don't remember when.
I think the family that you speak of, they retrieved the lantern, or somebody did, and we have an article here at the museum that said that it flew quite a ways, this lantern.
Quite a hole there. Yeah, I seen the pictures of it.
And it was a lantern either somebody was carrying or it was on the train or something to that effect. It's a red lantern, and we just acquired it back here in the last year, and there's quite a story on it.
I think there was a big fire too in the co-op station, wasn't there?
Yeah, they had fuel tanks over there that exploded. Because they tell about they heard the explosion and they could see the fire and they smelled it further.
Oh,
But what year? I didn't get that either.
And that started from somebody pumping gas at the pump. They thought it was sort of hitting Thompson, smoking a cigar.
But I think that
God!
were most fuel pumps underground or holding stations?
No,
No, they kind of were above ground, weren't they, for quite a
Yeah.
while?
that's what eventually caught on fire where in the big 12 feet.
Sure.
But I think some of them were underground right by the pump, so
Yeah, no, yeah.
how bad or
Yeah.
bad. The state went around digging up all
Mm-hmm.
the ones that they abandoned, so I kind of got contamination.
Yeah.
There must have been maybe 2 or 3 of them that probably held 2,000 feet, probably about 2,000 gallons maybe. Good part.
Did the fuel come on the trains or did it come by truck?
I would say probably come by truck.
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't think so. And they always had a chain underneath them for static electricity.
Oh,
Piece of chain right now. Remember that?
I suppose it would build up static in the container.
Yeah.
Just from traveling and sloshing.
And the uncles got their propane out of Arlington. And cost 3 cents a gallon is all.
Oh.
That's why they eventually put propane tank in and started heating the house with propane. It was just dirt cheap. Long time.
Well, they was using burner diesel fuel to heat the house.
No,
Propane.
propane. They switched to propane, yeah.
Now later on.
Yeah.
Or before it's probably diesel.
I don't know. Might have been wood too, or coal.
I know a lot of the old houses in town had some kind of oil that they burn, or I don't know if it was kerosene.
Diesel. All them kerosene too.
Yeah.
Most of them I think was diesel.
Someone referred to it as like a fuel oil too.
Yeah, fuel.
Yeah, I remember a friend's house, she had that in her basement and I could always smell it.
Yeah, that's what it was like.
Yeah, I mean it was different because we didn't have it, we had propane at home. So.
Well, where you're at, that was fuel oil.
Oh, it was? Down in the basement or?
No.
Oh.
No, it was right out your kitchen window on the west tank there.
Oh.
And you had a washroom outside too, didn't you? Wash clothes and stuff. You a lot of farms in a separate building, didn't they?
Well, that's where that summer kitchen ended up being. That's where they washed the clothes. before that, they cooked there.
Oh, yeah.
It was so damn hot in the house.
And I suppose they just use wood?
Yeah, I would think wood cobs and all that, yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. There was a little shed there where the burn barrels are, and that was full of corn cobs and pieces of old wood that they, boards and stuff they cut up and bust up.
A few cow pies.
Oh, yeah? I hear that's a good fire starter.
They come out camping with you.
Yeah?
Did you guys start milking right away when you came out here?
We got the barn situated where we can milk with it.
Did you start with a milk can then, or did you have
Yeah,
a pump?
milk cans for quite a while, yeah.
If you farmed and you had milk cows, did you bring your milk to town? Or was that,
They come and got it.
Truck came around.
oh, for our creamery here in town?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize they sourced local.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
yeah.
come and got the eggs and they come and got the milk.
Yeah, and then a lot of times they bring the cream in on Saturdays just so they can buy groceries. A lot of them.
Mm.
Yeah, I worked AMPI owned it for a while. Lake Preston Co-op Creamery, I think. And they'd have trucks come out and pick up their milk, and then we'd bring them in. And we'd dump the cans in a big holding deal. We'd weigh each person had a number, and then we'd dump it. They go in the vault. Then they'd make butter down there. Then we'd Rufus Thornfold and Kenny Hedberg, the butter makers.
Oh.
Then when they put the butter in a square deal, it used to be down here at the museum. I got it down. Put a block of butter in it, you jack it up and make 1 pound box out of it and wrap it. It's say Lake Preston Creamery or something.
Yeah.
What else did they make?
Just the butter.
Yeah. Well, then the trucks, there'll be big trucks come around and pick up all the eggs. Then they can the eggs there in the back in the creamery there too.
That's where,
My mother worked there one time, I think.
yeah, a couple of copper girls did.
Lillian?
Lillian worked there for a while.
So when they candle the eggs, I think Barb talked about that quite a bit last.
You have to put it under the light, I think.
So you did, so that you could see if it had a chick in it? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, I
You
guess.
couldn't find a parking spot on like Main Street to even park. I think Wednesday nights were pretty popular too.
Saturday night was a big one.
Yeah.
And they just didn't borrow money at the bank or nothing. They'd use some checks for the longest time until they sort of did away with it. Chased everybody in the bank to borrow money.
Sure.
Overage on that.
Really?
So,
I suppose though, if you had a product, you'd probably have a little in-store credit. Or didn't they
That's
do
one
that?
thing. They gave a lot of people credit.
If you brought your eggs in, then you could
Yeah.
get
Or
your.
if you had a job and you got paid at the end of the week or whatever.
the uncles, they'd charge you for a whole year and go in the fall.
And they get a crop.
Straighten out.
Sure.
Spending a lot of money smoking cigars, you really was paid up.
Yeah, they talked about there's 3 grocery stores in town at one time.
How many?
They thought 3.
Well, it was Beck's and Corner Store, Streeters,
Well, maybe they meant like the meat market or something.
well, that could be the meat market. They had a few groceries, but not that many, I don't think.
Sure. Yeah, they said it was quite popular and that the streets were really full.
Yeah.
And Watermelon Days, we saw some pictures where it was just cars parked all over in that north park there. And it looked like the commercial.
It was free.
Oh, the city put it on or what?
Yeah. How long did they do that? 2 or 3 years? Long time.
So I read articles where selling thousands.
Yeah. I couldn't believe how many cars were parked there by the commercial hotel.
Preston had the only swimming pool. Hearing people come down and swim.
Oh, okay. And that was quite a to-do too, with all the farmers coming to help take all the dirt out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it didn't take them that long to build it either, someone said.
said they come in and help put the hospital in. That's in the ground away, the old one.
Oh, yeah? Yeah.
He said the nurses were, whatever they call them, referrals, whatever. And then he said come back into town and built the swimming pool one day and we had that done. About anyway.
Did you ever go to the pool?
I never did. I think it's too far for me to walk.
Oh, sure.
I was in
But I don't know why it would be when everybody comes to me swimming.
Yeah. I was in the old one. I've never been in the new one. Then Grub's dad moved the trees they never in the park.
Oh, to Thornton, yeah. She was a Thornton, wasn't she?
Yeah. Thorson.
Thorson, isn't it?
I didn't have to be held. I said, really? You know, I said, yeah. Went out in the country and found them trees and dug them up.
Wow. Yeah, it's a beautiful little park. Do you remember the fountain working in the park? In the middle there?
I don't remember working, but I remember seeing it there.
Yeah.
Then when they filtered the water in the pool, the old pool, they run it through sand to filter it. They had one side is once the sand.
The pool was the other way than it is now.
Yeah, it runs north and south today, but it was east and west.
Yeah.
And then,
shallow parks to the east.
yeah. Somebody talked about there being like a swing or a slide or something in the pool.
Well, I don't remember that. There's two diving boards. I remember that.
Sure.
Maybe towards the small, shallow one, maybe they did have a slide there.
It's good oaks, the one that made the money at the pool. The kids always run over there and get something to eat.
Is that the gas station right across the street?
Yeah.
Okay. Little service station. Yeah. I don't ever remember that being open. What was where our gas station Boomers is now? Was that always a little gas station or was there never anything there?
City service.
Okay, that's what you call it.
Yeah, city service station.
It might have been open a little bit when I first come.
See, I don't remember who else run it because Kenny Anderson used to run a bulk truck out of their city service. He had them down there by Hillstead.
Yeah.
So,
Some of their big tanks, they're gone now.
but city service, that's just the name of the gas station?
Yeah.
So there was that little Good Hopes and city service, and then this little thatch roof one across from Susie's. Is that Larson?
Lawson's.
Okay.
Lawson's. Two would fence that for a long time. Then the two across from each other. And that little house I got on Main there in Baldwin, that used to be a gas station there in the corner.
Wow. A lot of gas stations.
Then right across from the old bank, that used to be have some gas pumps there too, I think, didn't it? Right next to the meat market.
In Sawers, that pumps there. And then down there were International. They ever have any?
Well, they might have at one time.
But I suppose if it wasn't dug up and put in the ground, it's probably fairly easy to acquire it. Because those old gas pumps had like they were super tall and then they had like a glass drum or something and you could see the filter inside.
You can see how many gallons you pump it up. You know.
Oh, that's...
Yeah, I don't think there's a filter up there, but they'd have 2 gallons up to 5 gallons, maybe 10. I don't know.
You got 10, but it's a ding. You pump it up and then a ding a gallon out at a time. Some of them.
Huh.
But there had to be an underground tank there with this. With a pumper in it that sucked it up.
Oh. That makes a lot more sense. For the swimming pool, do you know who did the concrete? Would that have just been the city? Or did the farmers help with that too?
I know I got it. You know I told you about that.
Yeah, I don't know that either.
I know the bathhouse is still original. That never changed. That stayed.
Yeah, that's right.
Has the park changed any other way? It's a huge park for a small town.
Well, this is bigger now with the closets. They used to have stored paint in there, right?
Yeah, that's what
And then they had a little cabin you could rent there too down in that area. You
Oh,
remember
I
that?
remember that, yeah.
So, grain from the train or farmers?
No,
I think the government had.
yeah,
They'd buy your grain, you store it.
Oh,
sealed grain is what it was, that's where all that little bins come about.
huh. Well, that's kind of an odd place to store grain, but
Well, then, down here, next to Hills is that big building. They used to store that all full of grain down there.
Where you got
Apple
your
West.
friend to shop.
Yeah, the 21st
Oh, yes.
century was
yep, we did hear that they stored grain in there.
a whole 2 blocks.
And it
There
seemed
was
like,
a scale in between there.
yep, yep, I remember seeing that, and like a ramp that they could drive up and unload.
Yeah.
Do they load it through the ceiling?
No, it's just up to the top.
But would they just,
Really held a lot of grain.
yeah, but would they aug it in from the top?
Well, they'd have augers running on top of it, kind of,
Oh,
and dumping the different deals.
that makes sense, yeah.
Then over the years it went to hell and started.
They started raising a few cattle.
Yep, I heard cattle. And then they made manufactured houses in there.
Yeah, yeah, they got whole thing was another way of concrete, make it level, and
They did. It was two rises to it.
yeah, and they put sand in between it and poured concrete over it.
Yeah.
But the houses are built just in your part there, going west.
They didn't go all the way through.
They never had nothing in this part. They might have made storage, but they never built it, did they? The east end?
Boy, I don't know.
I know that there's overhead cranes in the east end, but I don't think we ever had them in the west end. But then maybe they took them down
Oh,
because of the type of sub bus bars that we used for the machines. So,
mhm.
and then they would put the houses out in the pasture there,
Yeah.
the ground there. I wonder what a house cost. There's quite a few in town, they say.
Yeah, well, next to,
Jan Woodward must live in one of them, did
Yeah.
she?
no, where she used to live.
Oh,
You know, that cul-de-sac down there by Hillston's. I don't know who lives there now. Duffy used to, but I don't know who lives.
Yeah.
Then where Greta used to live there, that's the governor's house, ain't it? Where Petey lives now.
Yeah.
That ain't a governor's house, that'd be a
Manufactured house.
manufactured house. And the next one would be a governor's house where Oscar lived.
there's one over in D. Smith, I know that. Because I worked with the kid, they bought one.
Yeah. You suppose they move them whole or they keep them in half?
I think they're halves.
Jerry
Because
Malone.
I think they wrecked one of them some places.
Yeah.
So,
Jerry Malone worked there for a little bit.
Yep.
I remember that.
I think Roxanne Casper worked there a little bit. That land, so this would be north of that two block long building. They had mobile homes out there, but then they also said that's where the circus would get off the train. Is that correct? And would they set up there in that field?
Remember that bachelor that lived right there? George and Linton or Linton?
He come, yeah.
Then there was another Linton or George, you know, Tom lived in a little trailer house down there. By Ellen Wiles.
And then Jones. His one eye missing. He lived in there.
Old Lehman Jones.
Lehman, yeah.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah.
Well, there's another little guy that bought furs down there too. But I was thinking that was Lehman. Tiny Prince.
Tiny Prince, I think
He
that's
had a
where.
hotel at one time too.
Yeah, I think that's where Milford sold his.
Did they do a lot of traffic in Belford and Illinois?
Milford did a lot of traffic.
So there's a fur guy there north of town?
Tiny Prince, and then there's a big motel where the Ford garage was. He tore that down. He built this hotel here.
Oh, that still stands. Yes, I did hear that. Yep.
See, there used to be a house in the corner there. Kenny Anderson lived, and they moved that got the one that
You can't go over from the swimming pool.
okay, then where'd that house come from? That Schmidt lives in now. Where's that? There. Well, Gullickson, he moved that out, but where'd he go from? I don't remember that. You think the guy went to
Oh, learning? Okay. Forgot about that.
So I know we got new development happening to the south edge of town and new houses coming in. Was the town any bigger than what it is now? Like, was there houses out by the horse arena or ever in those empty lots?
Where the new houses are, and then that's where all them grain bins were.
Oh,
Remember that? There's a lot of them out there.
You mean
In that
here?
area, yeah.
You mean up to where Collins used to live?
No. Further down the road to the south.
back behind
And
the
one of
nursing
the grain
home?
bins way down there too.
Yeah,
That's
a lot of them, yeah.
yeah.
Back behind the nursing home?
In that area, yeah.
I think it's before then. I think.
And that was just that government grain storage?
Yeah. Butler Building is where it was, grain bin.
Oh, yeah, they're still named that. Well, you still see the name.
Yeah.
What would they do with the grain?
Sort of relief to the farmer, they dump it and set on it for, I don't know,
Oh,
7 years or better. You know, much
Yeah,
crap.
the government turned it all south, so now I remember cotton and Scotland, they'd buy a lot of it.
Buy a lot of it, yeah.
were the elevators in town always one same owner? No, because I know we got a little bit over here and a little bit to the north.
Well, there used to be two down there where I lived, just across the track on each side of the track there.
Oh. Do you remember their names? No. And they,
Well, that one I don't remember running. I think that Pee Wee Alberts and he working that one down that side. I remember him talking about it.
Yeah. And I think to the east of there, that one, there was no $6 one.
Yeah, there's a lot of $6 ones around.
oh,
That never run when I come to town.
yeah, it had a tall wooden, and it did say that on there.
Okay.
Yep, I remember that, yeah.
And then it was all that north one where Pee Wee Gilbert, it was pretty active in there. They had a grinder and roller and all that stuff. He'd feed you into that one.
Oh. I
You
was,
know, at Otter Tail plant, there was a great big flour mill there.
I don't remember, but I remember hearing about it.
He took your wheat to town and had it made in the flour.
oh,
Bag it, haul it home. Flour was the big thing years ago. That's what that bin is I got now.
yeah.
It was full of flour.
Did they ever take your wheat and sell it then to the local grocery stores with in the flour bags? Or did you just for your own home
For
use?
your own use, yeah.
Oh. Grind it and take it home with you.
Can't think of the name of it.
I think we have some flour sacks over here that maybe say the name wrong.
Holden,
Holden Mill?
something on that one.
When did Otter Tail come in then?
Well, that place gone on right. You know I remember the flour mill, do you?
Is that building, the brick building for Otter Tail, is that the mill or no?
No.
No, it's all gone.
I took it to the east of there where they got the poles and stuff.
Oh,
That's what I'm thinking of.
that makes sense.
There was a house there because Riley lived there.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
I think that was house Dickie didn't move over by the old top factory, I think. Like a barn shaped one, I thought.
Yeah.
The horses kind of went away like the horse and buggy. Was that like the 40s? You kind of stopped using it, or was it earlier than that?
Horses are a big thing. They had 85 horses out there growing up.
Oh wow.
But they claim there's more horses today than there back then when
Oh, okay.
they worked.
Yeah, now they're kind of a hobby.
Yeah. Well, West Bad didn't put a lot of horses in it.
And that's
I
where
wanna
the
see.
cottonwoods, the big cottonwoods got left along the road. That was where, if you was going over there and got hot and everything, you always got up to the tree to cool them off.
Oh,
That's why they left them.
yeah. But you guys never remember horse and buggy?
I've been around them, but no.
No.
I think there used to be a guy that delivered milk around town in a horse deal, remember that?
No. In the close one, I suppose. maybe?
Yeah, this little buggy going around and milk.
Huh.
And then pretty much everybody had a car, more than one car, or just one car?
It'd just be one. They kept it in the barn out there to get it started. The barn I tore down.
Oh, yeah?
And they're buying the cows.
Is it warm?
You know, they got the car started, they're always stunk like it.
A lot of times they put some kind of heat in it, or get a smudge pot or something, a little flame.
Corn cob.
Warm up the engine so it started. Turn it on with a crank, I suppose we didn't have a battery starter.
Yep.
Wow, cars have evolved a lot.
And the heaters weren't too good in those cars.
She used gasoline. I can never figure that out.
Gasoline and kerosene.
Gasoline is an uncle tells me. White gas or something they call it. I don't know if it's different than regular gas or not.
And that's what they put in the cars.
They put the tank down there and get it lit some way. Warm it up a little bit.
Oh, that's what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, now everybody has two, three vehicles.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
Can you think of anything else that catches your eye? Did you go to school here, Jerry?
Yep, 12 years, yeah.
When did you graduate?
1965. About 32, 36 kids in our class.
And the school was just the school we have for the high school then.
Yeah, and then that grade school we tore down, you know, in the middle there. There must be pictures here of what I meant, you know.
I think it's here.
Two-story.
But it kind of looks like the same building we have today, right? I mean, it's brick.
No, wow,
Kind of shaped the same.
2 story high, you know.
The,
Yeah, but it was
This
kind of in
building.
between the high school building, and the auditorium. The auditorium, I think, was built in 57. And I think the lunchroom down was the basement of that, of the grade school building, in the basement, I think.
along with the gymnasium.
No.
Oh, farther
Oh.
down.
See, the gymnasium was in the high school building. It's still there. Gym was probably where the band room was now, or the music room, you know.
Yeah, and I remember seeing that, but I remember looking down in there and it has old wood floors like this. But was the gym just the size of the band room? Was it a
Oh,
really
this was
small
very
gym?
big.
It wasn't very big.
You know.
Oh, so it wasn't a full size.
Because like you say, I think you could look down in there, you know, like the railing around it up there.
That makes more sense now. It was always in that.
But I never did play in that. For my day.
And you went to Irwin?
Yeah.
What year did Irwin come to Preston? 70? Like John Benson or
My
something.
two sisters graduated from down here.
Yeah.
So I graduated in 65. Cheryl must have graduated
2 years later.
I think 1970 was the first graduating, right?
They're probably right.
Like a combined graduation?
Yeah, like the Irwin kids graduated from like Preston.
See, they kept the grade school going in Irwin for a while after.
Yeah, it must have lasted 4 or 5 years before that.
What's his name? I think cooked even then for them.
Lundquist?
Yeah, who else? Pam, she worked there. Lois Pam.
Who?
Lois.
Pam? Okay.
I don't know.
Mrs. Lundquist was head honcho when I was there. Was cook with you.
Minnie.
Really,
Larry's
yeah.
mother.
That's a Lundquist?
She was the mother of the year in South Dakota. Remember? You know that?
I remember Irwin having a tiny grocery store.
Yeah.
We would go there.
Yeah.
Was,
Chet Bell.
wasn't much there. And then was there a gas station that the Anderson family lived in? We picked them up on the bus after they remodeled it. It'd be southwest of the bar and the little grocery store. Wasn't that a gas station?
Block building, yeah.
Yep. They made it into a house, or maybe they just tore the little gas station down.
I don't think there's nothing there. The one I'm thinking about is old Damon Peterson on that for a while.
Pete was about
Right there down by the elevator, that's the corner lot.
yeah.
Oh, but I'm not thinking of the right one.
There might have one down further maybe where you're
Gas
thinking of what-
station was cattywampus across from the bar, the old bar.
Yeah.
And there was always a park right across the street.
Yeah, sure.
Well,
I get my north and south mixed up.
I was just thinking of Park where, well, Minnie's house blew up, you know.
I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that too. It was about first part of January. It was a nice day out. Couldn't believe it. I heard the explosion clearing down. We went up there. The next day we went up to help clean it up.
We was still jamming where it happened. For the family, some point.
Yep. And then we went and seen it. And I remember going through Irwin on the school bus, and I just couldn't believe how scattered everything was. I mean, there was doors and
Stuff up
beds
in the
and
trees.
everything in the trees. Yeah.
Yeah, they said you could hear it from town.
Oh, yeah.
My dad, you could hear it in the too.
Well, your brother-in-law was out feeding cattle. They had him on TV.
Oh, I don't remember that. Willie.
There was an explosion of he used some big word, but you know what it meant.
Like a sonic boom or something, probably.
Which train went through Irwin, and did it come just right past Carlson's there, and then behind the
Yep.
elevator?
Yep. Milwaukee, the same one that went through here.
Oh.
Right behind the elevator. Right there where Kurt Richland, you know. Where Butch Cook used to.
Oh, sure.
That old track there.
Yep.
Kurt, he's gonna build a building back in there. Rich.
Oh, yeah?
Kurt Rich is gonna build a building back in there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
In the swamp?
By the house.
Oh.
That railroad grade is still there, and then it kind of curves out around the lake on the west side. And then I suppose it's been dug out through the years, but I know it goes right past my house.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you remember much out there by the horse arena, right where we're talking there? Do you remember it being a gathering place?
Well, I remember being a horse arena in there. Yeah.
Sales and horse
Jimmy
rides?
Cochran took us out there and come on, looking up, moving up here, I guess. Showed us that they were trying to play golf out there.
Well, that's right there. Yeah, I remember that. Didn't pan out.
Did they keep the grass cut short?
They tried to play out there. There was some, they dug some out, put some sand in there.
Oh.
It didn't go over too good of an alcohol, I can tell you that. Take time off to beat the ball around there. We had work to do.
I remember the fence being up, riding the school bus and taking that corner. And it seemed like there was some bleachers there. But then that was about it. Maybe a loading chute. But I don't hardly remember much after that.
After the golf carts, when the horse arena come in there.
Oh, it was first going to be a golf course and then
Was.
the arena. Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Can you guys think of anything else?
And then coming to town, you come with the horses down to Sholey Road.
Yep.
And Roy said that it was always too wet to go through the lake with the horses and wagons. So he said we go across the railroad grade and go on the west side. And come up, and he said that's where started that horse arena road.
Oh.
He said we cross over and then go into town the back way.
That makes sense. Do you remember when they started putting Lake Road through for Orange Bridge Road? It wasn't always a road, was it?
It must have been. I mean, as long as I remember.
Oh, the Orange Bridge?
Yeah, the Orange Bridge.
It was dump. Roy said there was a dump. After the town out here moved into Preston, I don't know which way it was. But he said that's where they were dumping their stuff.
Like car bodies and stuff.
Yeah, and he said, old machinery, the guys, no market for them. They just pull the old cultivators down. And them guys would think, what to do with it, and set it there, and then they throw junk on it. And he said they got out there about halfway, and they thought, we gotta do something different here. So, east part of that road's all junk underneath it. Till it got to the Orange Bridge.
Well, the east end of the road, okay.
Wasn't there a couple kids drowned out on the bridge swimming?
Two girls. Two girls.
Remember the year?
No, I wish I'd wrote that down.
Well, you was telling me too, right across from Ray Olson's there, you know, there used to be a foundation there.
Yep.
He's told me that there was some lady burned to death there down in Woodstow. You'd have to tell the story, I just remember you telling me about it.
She ended up marrying Baldy Star.
Well, about by Henry.
Henry get drunk and shoot at
Yeah.
the bus. Then he passed, and she married the boxer. I used to shear my sheep.
From Badger.
No, Henry
Smith?
Henry Smith, yeah.
Why did he go there?
So Henry sheared my sheep colder and colder. Well, come on over to the house. Get straightened up. Went in the house and she made boiled coffee. Boy, that tastes good. It was cold. We got to talking and she told me who she was. And I said, my uncle's told about, well, yeah, it was my family.
Oh.
Her older sister come in the house. They were, mom apparently died. Dad was off working someplace. She's gonna cook supper for the kids. Put some kerosene on thinking the stove was out and it wasn't.
Oh.
Blew up on our bar. And the sheriff lived there where Nelson's lived. He come out with a big Chrysler and picked her up and took her to Walgreens, and then she died in the motor.
Well, you better tell us about that body you found in your fence line too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we were there for that one.
Yeah.
For Mother's Day weekend, but.
But that guy got lost or something, didn't he? I mean, he got.
Him and his buddy were drinking, chasing out luxury and everything else. He must have ended up out here at Pat and Carol's and got in a fight. His buddy found another way home. This guy come out of town and run out of gas.
Yeah. And it was kind of the highest part around the lake road
Yeah,
there.
quite a drop.
Quite a
off,
drop.
yeah.
And then he just must have went right over the fence and tumbled down.
Yep. Broke,
Well,
broke.
the lake wasn't frozen or nothing. Then what was it? You know, something.
No.
He just drowned. Probably never did
broke
find him.
both his knees.
So
And it was Mother's Day weekend.
that's what I was just gonna say. I knew it was some holiday.
Yeah, so, and he'd been missing probably what? A couple weeks?
About 2.5 weeks.
It was
Kept
well, I
looking
thought
for him.
probably more than that.
Oh.
Yeah.
I got a buddy I went to service with, and he was from Elkton over there. And boy, did they tell me this story about that. This guy was married, had a little kid. Must have been hell or you. He said, Jim, his wife was the only smart one in the whole bunch. She just picked up and left the baby with his folks and left the country.
Huh.
Oh.
There was a guy that drove in open water there too, didn't he? By the bridge there.
Yeah, south of where the bridge used to be, yeah.
Well, there used to be a lot of ice fishermen out on the lake, but now maybe it's just too low. You don't see
Yeah,
them
Too
anymore.
much feed too, I think.
Yeah, really hot for
I
fishing.
mean, right over where you live, that used to be a hot spot. I think that you had the record perch there for a while.
Yeah. We counted 300 vehicles out there that one day. They had a great big telescope set up on the table.
Oh,
Go down there and watch it go and take a look.
sure. Sure. And I know that there's like dredging in the lake, isn't there? Like dikes that have been cut
Ditches,
out?
yeah.
Ditches? Ditches.
Yeah.
And that was just to hold water or to slow down water?
They just dug them so there'd be water for the ducks and the geese.
Oh.
It's a wildlife federal bullshit deal that started right at the old dump.
They do it in the winter time.
Yeah, they run 24 hours a day.
They go down. I think Bob Hill's going out and fuel them up.
Yeah.
How far
We
did
come
it
to
go?
Orange
Okay.
Bridge Road and they jumped over that one all the way to Hinton.
Oh.
Lake Thompson's down too.
And yeah, it all grew up to Canadian thistles and we just had, for years it just snowed.
You ever go out there and try to go up and down the dikes with those boulders up?
There's kids that, few of them had cars up and everything.
Oh, in the winter time, yeah.
David,
David Thomas, he froze his feet out there, remember that?
Oh, yeah.
I think he lost his couple of his feet in there, one for sure.
took the bottoms out. Vicky was working on that when he come in there.
Oh. In her hospital.
Yeah. I'd run across him. I'm down the uncle's work and geez, a nice day. Going back home again, I went up by Wayne's and caught and ran top the hill where he was walking. Went home a couple days later. Well, I said, I ran into him up there. What did he do?
That would
He
have
went,
been a long walk all the way back home.
well, it went down through, must maybe gotten about the middle of the lake and then got on that Viking stuff and then he walked, crossed over to Orange Bridge Road and he was in the other part of the lake on his phone. Well, he was out there a long time.
And he was trying to come back to town. Do you remember that out there now? We're talking to the farther east part of the lake. Did the railroad tracks ever go underwater?
Oh,
Right
you're
along.
out behind Alex along 14
Yeah.
there. Oh, yeah.
So then does that
They
stop?
built it up.
Yeah. Does that stop the train then, or can they go through it?
Well, I knew they raised it up because they dropped more rock and raised the rail up.
Yeah.
That was probably like an 86 when all that raised.
Yeah, it was only 10-mile-an-hour to go through there. In the 80s.
Yeah. That makes sense. And it was really wet there in '84 and '85, I think.
That's the year they built the highway through town here. It was so muddy. Remember that 85, 86.
I remember the buses being flooded, the bus routes being flooded, and we would have to get on the D-Smith bus to get home because it was so. They had to go all the way around and take Wilkinson's home, and so sometimes we'd make it to Nelson's, and then the Wilkinsons would have to walk home, and we'd have to walk home.
Well, see, like Wilkinson's, they went to school in East Smith.
They did, and that's when so Jenny and I would get on the D-Smith bus, and they would take us over to that little schoolhouse along 14.
Yeah.
And then the Preston bus would unload the kids that were kind of living north of town, and they'd get on the D-Smith bus, and then they'd take us home. But it was so flooded. I mean, everything was flooded. The dead end was flooded, and the lake road was flooded.
Your mom went from our place, your place, all the way around through the Smith to get here to come to work.
Yeah. I believe that. Was it just a terrible winter or a wet spring?
Well, spring, early December.
Well, then it started raining too, I think.
Yeah, it just poured. I was down to Uncle's there and it poured for just an hour. I dumped the rain gauge. He went over, it was 10 inches. I got in the house and Wade Jensen just done calling Kettleland. He just had 12 inches in an hour.
Wow. They showed pictures of the terrible snow in like 1970 or 1969 where it's just rows of people trying to get through. Then did you have terrible flooding the next spring? Remember that?
I wouldn't say it was flooding, but I pushed back with a dozer. It just come early and didn't have the equipment.
Seemed like the wind blew all the time. She drifted everything in.
Sure.
You know, 3 days blizzard. I was going to Irwin to school. We only went Wednesday and Thursday. time it's coming again.
I know we don't get the winters like we used to.
No.
That's probably okay.
Yeah.
The first go around, the first bad snow, choked the enough, you know.
Run the blade, yeah.
And he had a window. Couldn't, he should have kept on plowing, you know, with the money and all that, but the windrow was out there like that. He just kept snowing and blowing, and he was just screwed from the first snowstorm there was.
Yeah.
Now they got power, they roll it back hot, thunder and everything.
Sure.
That's when the National Guard was out blowing roads out too.
Yeah.
Well, I know we've always lived north of town, but what about you, Jerry? Where did you grow up in town? Is your homestead still here?
Yep. Well, where I live.
On the north edge of town there.
Yep.
Well, you lived across from where I was.
Where I was born across the road there, then we went across, and then went back again.
Oh, back.
Was
Okay.
there always houses out there, or was it more of a farm?
No, it was always houses. That's one thing about a block, probably had 20 kids on it that way. Down from the ones.
Yeah.
Sure.
Where did the old depot house go back to the welding shop? Somebody tear that down?
Oh, there. They must have tore that down. Well, I'm trying to think who lived there. Kevin. Kevin, yeah, no. I think he got hurt working on the railroad and they lived there for some reason.
Okay. Thought there was another couple that was back in there too.
Oh, it might have been.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I think Dick Merrill, him. Somebody had a trailer house back in there, you know, by the welding shop that I got at one time. Wasn't there a little trailer house back there?
Oh, really?
I was thinking there was.
Huh.
I doubt Dick Merrill lived there though, but
That had to be almost next to the grade back in there, didn't it? The house?
no, it was up kind of about right where they pile that dirt when they sweep, I think. I remember the foundation, whole foundation being in there.
I know, Dad, you didn't come until what, 19? What year did you move out here?
59 or 60.
1959 or 60? So about 13.
No.
Jerry, have you always lived here?
Yeah, all my life.
Where'd you move here from?
Northern Illinois.
Okay.
I was born in Rockford, Illinois.
What brought you up here?
My dad's related to Wink,
Okay.
and my dad would come out here and thrash
Cool.
for Albert Wink, and they had one boy, that was Leroy, and Dad had helped thrash, and Wink's owned half the thrash machine was the coppers.
Okay. And so he just kind of ran it for him?
You know,
Cool.
Well, it took quite a crew to run a thrash machine once we did it. Both had a shock all grain and all the shocks.
What was a thrashing machine used for? All types of grain or
yeah, the wheat, oats,
small grain?
small grain, yeah.
Okay. And then it would cut it, and then you'd just be left with.
Well, you cut it first in shock and you put it in bundles like.
Oh.
And then they'd pick them up in like a hay rack and then haul them through the thrash machine.
Pitch mom. And down pitchfork.
And somehow, just like combine separates the grain from the heads. Put it in a trailer, I suppose, like a
Yeah.
flatbox wagon.
You know, it depends on what you got blessed with. You just haul grain to town, or you put in wagons when you're in dumping, come back on again.
Was there more small grains then, or was the corn and soybeans?
I would say it was more small grain. I mean, they talk about the only thing they ever did in Yukon was wheat.
See, soybeans, I don't know when they started. They didn't start planting soybeans for years. I don't know when, but I remember soybeans.
My dad raised them back in Illinois, probably in the 50s, just one.
There was a little flax back in the days too.
Yeah, our flax. Yeah.
Yeah, what about rye?
Barley.
But I don't remember flax being thrashed.
That'd be pretty tough on that.
Well,
I don't
for
know how
the
they do it.
straw, you know.
Yeah.
But he said, they told about the guys that was really on the up and up, they'd be out in the field thrashing. When they pull out of there, them old boys would set that straw pile on fire, burn the weed.
Oh, see, I was wondering if they use the extra straw for the cattle.
Yeah, other guys had livestock, they haul it back.
Sure.
They said you get out there and the old boys pump you up. Oh, you're doing boy, what you doing?
Keep you going a little bit.
Then they sucker you into taking a chew of red man or whatever.
You always had a big meal at noon.
Well, so I got up there and I was dizzy. I couldn't hardly get the horses up there. Unload. My legs were wobbly. He said, and I was puking. And the old boys would get the biggest kick out of that.